is all the above, best believe we do it better. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us. I want the fame, the fortune, all the above. I want the checks, the moolah, all the above. From Philadelphia to New York, all the above. Man, tell them other stations they don't do it like us.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Angel Marie and my co-host Kevin from All the Above, and today we are going to give you guys a special segment called Getting to Know Angel Marie and Kevin. So usually for our show, you guys are typically getting a small glimpse into the lives of our guests, artists, entrepreneurs, authors, etc. But you guys rarely get to know us, except if you have read the bios in our website, which you better have. If not, go check it out. alltheabove-podcast.com. So my birthday is April 22nd. I'm a Taurus, obviously, horns up. I feel like I definitely live up to that stereotype in most cases because, you know, the Taurus is a bull and you're very hard-strung, independent, a little stubborn sometimes, you know, what you say go. But yeah, but I'm a nice, polite Taurus in most cases. Most cases.
My birthday is June 13th. I'm a Gemini, and obviously people, you know, the Gemini twins, good side, bad side. I probably do have two sides. The good side is 90% of the time, but every so often that little switch goes and it can get ugly. So I think people have told me, you know, who have known me for a long time, that they see that little double-sided in me, but I think I'm also very genuine and fiercely loyal. Just don't push me to that other side and everything will be all right.
So pretty much we're both crazy. Funny enough, I do have a nickname. My family typically calls me Riri because my middle name is Marie, not because I'm slow. I know that's usually what people say for Riri when we were kids. But I think my dad started that, so shout outs to my dad. It's rare because obviously only my family calls me Riri. I don't have friends or like coworkers or anything because I don't typically tell other people, but if they do call me that, I have no issue with it. But I think it's a nice separation where it's like family ties where everyone in my family will call me Riri and then everyone else just calls me Angel.
I don't really have a nickname. Like you, I've had like little things my mother or brothers would call me, but everybody just from the first second they meet me will just refer to me as Kev. And they probably do that with most people named Kevin, but it's funny, even in work settings, professional settings, where I've met somebody and, you know, I'll pick up the phone or they'll call me and then it's like, hey Kev. It's like, just people naturally go to that. When I actually hear my name, Kevin, it catches me off guard because I hear it so infrequently. I maybe get called it 10 times a year, so.
Basic.
I guess that technically counts as a nickname, but I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because with my name, I don't really get to have a nickname unless someone calls me Ange, which I hate. That's so stupid and corny.
People call you that?
I had like 2 people who called me Ange before, and I'm like, that don't fit. Some people call me Angie or Angie, and I'm like, for some reason, it just don't feel right. I don't know.
But have you told them the origin of your nickname though?
Like other than my family?
Well, no, the family nickname. You said it, right?
Yeah.
Riri,
Yeah.
right? Tell them why they call you Riri, though.
Oh, I did tell him that.
Oh, you did?
That's my middle name.
Oh,
Clearly, he wasn't listening.
I was listening. I didn't hear the part of it. You said your middle name, but like the Marie, Riri. I don't know if you.
Yeah, that's where they all get it from. Because if I tell my friends, I'm like, oh yeah, my family calls me Riri. Or if my friends are around my family and they hear them call me, they're like, why do they call you that? And then I have to explain because Marie, you don't really get a nickname out of Angel, so they came up with Marie, second best.
You're the only one of your siblings who actually has a true nickname too.
Well,
people's names, they shorten everybody's name, but you're the only one who has like a real nickname.
Oh, that's true.
It's an interesting question when people say describe yourself, so I'll just kind of go to if anybody out there has ever like taken one of the personality tests where it gives you the 16 personality types. I like that one because I'm an INTP, and the thing that sort of defines the INTP is we're very logical, but we also get lost in our own thoughts. And that's kind of how I am. People sometimes think I'm disinterested or aloof. And that's not really the case. I just get so lost in my own thoughts and what's going on in my head that the outside world sometimes just disappears. Like now, you said, I said that already. And I was like, oh, but I was thinking about, my part, and I completely missed everything you said. So sometimes that's a good thing where, my thoughts and my mindset kind of helps me break things down, analyze, and see things in a very interconnected way. But also sometimes it makes me a little disjointed from the outside world, and I have to reel myself back in. So that's probably a strange way to describe myself. That's not necessarily my overall personality, but I think it's the lens through which I view the world is like my own inner mind and trying to analyze what's going on based on my own perceptions and all that stuff. A little deep and over the top, but that's exactly the personality type. We're deep and over the top.
I think that's fair enough. I kind of want to co-sign that just a little bit because I oftentimes will have someone talk to me and it'll completely go in one ear and out the other. And I don't intentionally do it half the time. Sometimes I do intentionally ignore people. Sorry if I've ignored you before where I'm like, oh, can you repeat that again? But I will say sorry.
That's how you know she was really ignoring you, is when her voice got real high. Oh, can you repeat that again?
But other than that, I'm super friendly, I'm funny, bubbly. I'm very shy, surprisingly. I'm super duper shy. I don't often like talking to people if it's me initiating the conversation. If someone comes to me and they give me a good enough topic for us to discuss, or if we're just shooting it off and talking, it's a little bit better. But other than that, you'll see me sometimes be off on the side, more so with larger groups. If it's a big group, I'll be the one more so quiet on the side unless I start getting more comfortable to be out there.
And I think that's probably the one trait about you that most people would not believe was the case or would believe to be true, because obviously podcasts, you've done all kinds of people facing type of positions where you are forced to interact with a lot of people. And you even told me you were shy. I've known you for 20 years now, almost more than that. I would have never thought you were shy. And then when you told me that, and I was like, wow. So that's probably something that all of our listeners would find to be the most surprising. But I will co-sign on it. She told it to me, and then at different spots, I see her, she turns it on, where she's doing her shy thing, and she's like, all right, showtime, boom, and then you get ready.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do, interact with people. But that is true. That is true.
That's okay.
And surprising.
I'm only not shy if I have an agenda. If I know I'm going to a function for a reason, if it's for all the above, when we're doing our field interviews and I know I have to approach people to get them for an interview and we have a conversation, it's easy, it comes naturally. But had we had gone to an event and I wasn't doing all the above, I would be shy and quiet in the corner just observing. It's super weird. It's like a hit or miss situation, on-off switch, like I said.
Sure you're not a Gemini?
I'm not a Gemini.
Got a little bit of that in you?
Horns up, Taurus.
My significant other is my wife of almost 17 years. August 2nd will be 17 years. For those who've listened, you are our listeners, my wife is her older sister, so we are brother and sister-in-law. But we actually met, my cousin introduced us. When shortly after I moved to Philadelphia, I was actually at church, and
Where
my
are you
cousin.
from?
I'm originally from. Is that on there? Is that one of the questions?
No.
Okay, well, my parents are from Philadelphia. My father was in the Navy and got stationed in different places. Got stationed in Connecticut. That's where I was born. Grew up there. And then when it was time for me to go to school, I had more family in Philadelphia than anywhere else. So thought it was a perfect place for me to go to school. I had spent a lot of summers here coming up, so it was like second home anyway. So I moved to Philadelphia to go to college, TU.
Whoop whoop.
And
TU.
My cousin introduced me to my wife, her sister, at church. Their family came in and he had known the family. We were actually, funny enough, before I moved here, 6 months earlier, my cousin, at his wedding, your sister was at the reception. She missed the wedding. She was getting her hair done, but she was at the reception.
How do you miss a wedding?
And I was in the wedding, so it's funny. We never saw each other, don't remember it, but we were in the same place 6 months before we met. So anyway, fast forward 6 months, I move out here, I'm at church with my cousin, and he actually, said, oh, I want to introduce you to somebody because she goes to Temple too. So you might know somebody, same church, same school. So we got introduced there, and then, a couple weeks later, started talking, met on campus, and then boom, the rest is history. Here we are, 20 years together, 17 married, 2 daughters, 10 and 14, and gray hairs and everything else.
So interesting enough, I met my fiance Tyrell during our podcast. But
all the above, bringing people together.
But we didn't actually start talking after he was a guest. We were friends, and we started talking about a year after he was a guest on our show. We just stayed in contact. More so, he stayed in contact. He's probably going to argue this, but he stayed in contact. He stayed in contact.
He's not even here to defend himself, though.
Exactly, it's alright. Love you, babe. But he stayed in contact with all the above. And then it was reciprocal. Like, obviously, we would check on him, support him, post his things. We would go to his shows. And then over time, we hung out. I will say it was after my birthday, actually, my 25th birthday. He came to my party, and then, like, a little while after that, like, not too long, a few days, weeks, whatever, we started going on dates and actually hanging out more as friends. And I was like, oh, he's cool, whatever. And then we officially started dating like a little while after that, and now we are engaged. And we're expected to get married in September. So yeah, shout outs to Tyrell. Shout outs to all the above. Because I will say, if it wasn't for our podcast, who knows? He always says that, obviously, if it wasn't for the podcast, we probably would have found another way to meet each other. Which is very strange though, because it turns out his pop lives a few doors down from my sister and Kev, which is interesting. So we probably crossed paths quite a few times, and his family grew up on the same block as my aunt, apparently. Mind blown. Alright, so my first job was Rita's Water Ice in the gallery, which is now known as the Fashion District, but I had it in the gallery when I was 14 years old. It was a summer job, obviously. I started like not too long after school had ended. And it's interesting because my mom didn't want me to have a job because I was young. Obviously, I look like a baby now, so imagine how old or how young I looked when I was 14. So my mom didn't want me having to catch the bus by myself going to work and coming home, and she just thought that I shouldn't be having a job just yet. So shout out to my dad, because he took me down to the gallery, helped me fill out my application, and then boom, got hired. And started making my first few dollars.
I actually have had a lot of crazy jobs, but my very first job, I was like 15, and it was a summer job. I was a dishwasher at a seafood restaurant. It was one of the hardest jobs I ever had. You work in a hot kitchen, but it was one of those dishwashers where you push the dishes through and it's like hot steam.
Oh,
so it was like 100, it was summertime, it was like 105 degrees in the kitchen. And part of my job was when the cooks needed like lobsters, you would go to the freezer, to the refrigerator room, grab the lobsters and bring it to the cooks. So they'd be like, oh, I need like 12 lobsters. So I'd have an apron and I'm reaching in and I got live lobsters like in my apron, and I'm like running to the kitchen to give it to the cooks. And sometimes the lobsters didn't even have the rubber bands on the claws. So it was a couple times I actually got clawed by a lobster. That hurts. Let me tell you how I quit.
You get like fouled for something like that if you get hurt by it?
Man, this was the mid-90s. Wasn't nobody doing that. But the way I quit the job was, it was my last day. And they used to always be shorthanded, and they would ask you to do double shifts. So the day shift was from like 7 to 3, and the night shift was like 7 till technically 11, but whenever they closed, which sometimes you wouldn't get out of there till 1. So imagine I'm like 15, and they had already asked me to do that a lot, to work that double shift with 7 a.m. to getting out at like 12 or 1 in the morning. So they said, can you do a double shift? I'm like, no, it's my last day. I'm just trying to get out of here. And they're like, well, so-and-so called out sick. Can you please? And they kept harassing me through the shift. So I just said, all right, I'll do the double shift. They're like, thank you. So at 3 o'clock, I said, I'm gonna go take the garbage out. I took the garbage out, threw it in the dumpster, kept walking to the parking lot, got in my car, went home.
So I have a few hobbies. I've mentioned this a few times on our show, so if we have any new viewers and listeners here, one of my hobbies is doing photography. It's literally just a side hobby. I don't really like doing it too much as like a profession kind of thing. But it's called Halo Images. You can check it out at haloimagesbyangel.wordpress.com if you want to. And we also have a Facebook where it's facebook.com/haloimagesbyangel. Literally like just walking around, taking pictures of stuff, doing small events for family and friends. Nothing too crazy, but you know, check it out. Also, I love to dance. I've always had a history of dancing since I was little. Started like at my middle school, Meredith. So it was a performing arts school, sort of, kind of. And I started dancing there. I was in the dance ensemble, dance clubs, organizations, Temple. I was a part of BAM. Shout outs to By Any Means Necessary. Yes, I always did dancing. Always did acting on the side as a hobby. Not so much now. But I guess you could kind of call these YouTube videos a form of acting because it's like me still engaging with people. But yeah, I was always in musical theater and plays all the time, which is also weird because I grew up shy. But yeah, it kind of helped me tap into not being as shy because I was super duper shy now. Me now is like big progress, so yeah.
For me, I don't have a whole lot of time for hobbies because obviously, you know, married, 2 kids, my daughters are having a bunch of different activities that I'm always getting them back and forth to, then of course working and all that. But I'd say probably, and this isn't cliche, this is really what I enjoy. I love to read. I probably read at least 2 or 3 books at a time. I don't just pick one book and read it. I'll have 2 or 3 different books, but I'm not a fiction reader. I love nonfiction books, so books about like, you know, sociology or history, those kind of things, but I love reading those kind of books. So that's really my hobby when I have time, and it's usually when it's late at night. I go to bed late anyway, so usually when it's late at night, everybody's kind of winding down, the kids are in bed, you know, Tisha's, you know, watching her shows and getting ready to go to sleep. I'll, you know, crack open my books and I read 2 or 3 chapters of one and then crack open the other one, but I love it. I enjoy it. I wasn't a reader when I was a kid. I didn't really like it, but it's something I picked up when I got older, and I don't go to the library. I actually like to buy the book and own it. And I go back and reference books and look up stuff and all that stuff. And of course I like, you know, the personal development books and those kind of books as well. So that is what I enjoy to do. Other than that, you know what I mean, I have sports, football, basketball, baseball. I love the 3 main sports, you know. That's pretty much it. Alright, so on, I guess, my side of the family, I've got 2 brothers, older brothers, Reg and Ken, and then I also have a stepbrother, Sean, who, you know, he's my brother as well, so we're real tight. So the nieces and nephews on that side, I've got my brother Kenny's kids, who, my niece, his oldest daughter, Kaya, shout out to Kaya, and then his middle kid, Nick, shout out to Nick. And then his youngest son, Derek, and then also my brother Sean's got 3 kids. He's got Nyla, who's the oldest, Ramanje, who's his middle, and then Angelica, who's his youngest. So that's the Connecticut fam. Then on this side, we share some common nieces and nephews. Mine, 2 kids are actually 2 of your nieces, but we've got Tyree, who is the oldest. We got Jasmine, who is next, and then, well, my kids, well, Kayla's in between them, but I'm talking about my nieces and nephews. So, so after Jasmine, then there's Tristan, and then the newest, Sincere, he'll be 1 in June.
So I have 3 brothers and 1 sister. So Tyree is the oldest, Clifton is the middle, and Irvin is the youngest. And then well, he's not the youngest because I'm the youngest, but you get what I'm saying. He's the youngest out of the brothers. And then my sister Fatisha, his wife. And then I have a whole bunch of nieces and nephews. I have 3 nieces, Kayla, Jasmine, and Jacelyn. And then I have 3 nephews, Tyree, Tristan, and Sincere, who's the baby. Well, him and Tris. Those are both of my loves because they're the babies. They're all my babies, actually. I can't say someone's my baby, but yeah.
And one thing I am hoping is that I'll be getting some new nieces and nephews that you won't be getting because they'll be your children.
In due time, but not right now.
Oh, I hope so. Oh, I can't wait till we doing these videos and your belly's coming out and all that stuff.
All right, we're gonna go to a new video because
Hey man, that's what's
I'm
going
not
on
throwing
next.
that in the atmosphere right now.
I've been praying that you have twins first time around.
Whoa!
Okay.
We're gonna go to the next video. So for elementary school / middle school, I went to Meredith Elementary. Shout outs to where everyone is a star. High school, I went to Kappa, the Philadelphia High School of Creative and Performing Arts, where, you know, legends are made. And then I went to Temple for college. Shout outs to the Owls. And I would say that my favorite era was probably a mix between going to Meredith for elementary school and Temple for college. I'll say Meredith because that was the first school I went to where it was more stable, because before that, for what, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, I went to different schools. So once I went to Meredith, that's where I stayed at school at least for 4 years until I graduated. There, I'm still in contact with mostly all of my friends from Meredith. So I felt like at Meredith, that's where I built more of a family-based friendship with a lot of people. Granted, obviously we're all older, so it's not like we talk every day, but we still stay in contact with each other through social media and stuff, where I feel like I'm more engaged with my Meredith friends / family than any other era of school that I went to. And I would also say Temple was probably one of my favorite eras because obviously as college, you're a little more independent, you're more of an adult. That's where you make more decisions for yourself. You're learning about yourself, growing, all that. And that is also where I met my best friends, Anya, Sadiqa, Iffy, so shout outs to them. And we still been going strong ever since then. I met them my freshman year? Yeah, I met them, spring semester of my freshman year, and we all hit it off immediately after that. So those are my favorite eras.
So for me, in these schools, obviously, we have a Philadelphia primarily based listenership audience. So these are schools that nobody would know here, but I went to Eastern Point Elementary in Connecticut, which no longer exists. It's been knocked down and they replaced it and built another school. For middle school, I went to West Side Middle School. And then for high school, went to Fitch High School. Undergrad, went to Temple, and then got a master's at LaSalle. I would say I can't really pick an era because there's each of those time periods I have some of the great memories from, and actually still I have friends that I was friends with in elementary school. I have friends that I met in middle school that I'm still friends with, high school, college, and so on. There's actually people that I go so far back with, I don't remember not being friends with them. Like my furthest memories back, they're part of those memories. So I can't really pick an era, but I'd say they all have some fond memories and have relationships that came out of all of them. But yeah, that's my school history.
I just realized too, I started off with Meredith, but I said how I went to other schools before Meredith, and I didn't mention it. I went to Smith Elementary School down South Philly, and I also went to Deliverance Academy, Deliverance Evangelistic, I don't know.
You forgot about 2 schools.
What other school?
No, I'm saying those. You just added 2 additional schools.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you forgot 2
Because
schools.
when I think of elementary, my mind automatically just takes me to Meredith because.
So what grade were you when you started going there?
I was in 4th grade.
Okay.
So Smith, I was there for kindergarten and 1st grade, and then when I went to Deliverance Academy, I went there for 2nd and 3rd grade.
I remember me and your sister after classes. We would come pick y'all up, and you and Herb would come out. You'd have your little plaid skirt.
So as you all know, I went to Temple University. I would say there's a few favorite memories I guess I would have. One is when I did the Temple LA Study Away program my senior year, it was fall semester. Went to LA. That's where I probably had the best experience in my life as far as like career-wise, where I was able to learn a lot of things, witness a lot of things, because I worked for Entertainment Scoop, where I pretty much got my first real start as a red carpet reporter. Was able to interview a lot of celebrities, was on the WB Backlot, CBS Live, interviewing people for red carpet events. I also worked for Awesomeness TV, which is a really big YouTube station, a YouTube channel, I mean. They also had a movie that went out on Nickelodeon like 4 or 5 years ago. And I helped with that. I was their Hollywood reporter, so I helped with pretty much some of the videos that you guys have saw through Awesomeness TV, I helped produce and put that out there, basically. Helped write the scripts and all that. And then the biggest one, obviously I worked for the Kardashian and Jenner family, which was a really big experience in my life. It was a lot of things that I was able to learn from them.
Don't break your NDA.
Oh yeah, oh no. I had to obviously sign the NDA, so I can't say much about it, but you know, it was cool. I loved it.
Mine will be very short and easy. My fondest college memory was having my first date with Tisha, where it was something simple, basic. We went out to lunch, but we ended up, I think, we had lunch, we finished, and I think we sat at the table and we might have talked for like 3 hours. I mean, it was basically like, oh, we better get going. So that is my fondest college memory. But I had a lot of fun times, a lot of memories in college and all that, but both at Hampton and at Temple. But the fondest memory is that first date with Tisha.
Love. So my favorite movie, I actually have 2 favorite movies. It is obviously The Jackson's American Dream, because everyone knows, or you should know, that I'm obsessed and love Michael Jackson. And my second favorite movie is Titanic. You didn't know that?
No.
I love Titanic. I literally could watch Titanic all day, every day if I had to. Obviously I will watch Jackson's American Dream all day, every day as well. But I really love Titanic. You could ask my fiance, if Titanic is on TV, I'm gonna turn it on. No matter how many times I already watched it in that day or the day before.
I had no idea. Wow.
I love Titanic. My favorite TV show, currently, I don't really have like a favorite TV show because I watch a lot of reality TV now because unfortunately like reality TV has like dominated television nowadays. I do watch Grownish, which is the Blackish spinoff with Yara Shahidi, but if I had to choose, I would say more so probably like between Sister Sister and Family Matters would be my favorite TV show.
I don't know. I start with movies. It's changed over time. I don't have a favorite movie that I've had for years and it stayed my favorite movie, but maybe I'll do genres. And I've been like this forever. I love the zombie genre. So anything that has to do with aliens, zombies, or just apocalyptic event stuff, I love those kind of movies. So I guess I'd stick to that genre. Those are the ones that I like. I don't have a particular favorite one. TV, I don't really like reality TV. I'll watch it here and there if it's on. Like everybody, and this is cliche, but I mean, I love The Wire. Everybody loved The Wire. Favorite artist, that's easy. Anybody who's listened to the show already knows. Angel already knows. My favorite artist of all time is Nas. I mean, I remember 1993, I heard somebody playing Illmatic and it just hit me like no other song or album. And I remember the exact song, it was The World Is Yours. Somebody was playing that in the neighborhood I lived in, out of their window. And I heard it, and it was somebody I knew. So next to my song, I was like, yo, what were you playing? I hadn't heard the album before. They're like, oh, it's Nas. So I was like, I gotta get that. I went out and bought it, played that album, and I've been a fan ever since. I'll argue with anybody, I've done it on the show, why he is the greatest hip hop artist of all time. But I mean, he's my favorite. I even got the tattoo on my arm of the globe with The World Is Yours around it. But nah, that first album really spoke to me, like from the moment I heard it, and just been a fan ever since.
Well, you all know Michael Jackson is my favorite. Anything about Michael, I have so many albums. I have a lot of photos all over my room, a lot of bobbleheads, action figures, a lot of random stuff. I can't remember the first time that I really started. Actually, no, I do remember the time I really started.
I need to hear this story.
So it was when I was still living in South Philly when I was young. So I was probably like 8 or 9. And I remember I wanted to go to dance school. And my mom obviously had 5 kids. So she said, I can't afford no dance school. You better dance around this house.
She didn't say it like that.
Pretty much.
She probably did.
Pretty much. So she gave me the Michael Jackson Thriller VHS. And I literally popped that in the VCR and played it over and over again until I learned the choreography. And I always tell people that I'm a really quick visual learner. I love choreography. I don't like freestyling. I don't really like doing choreo myself. But for the most part, if someone shows me like a quick 8 count, 16 count, whatever, I get it pretty fast. And I think it all stems from that. I had to learn from a VHS tape. And when I watch things on TV, I'm really quick to learn like a dance move because that's how I originally learned how to dance. It's from Michael Jackson Thriller. And I think my love for him blossomed over the years from that.
That's interesting. I've never heard that story.
Really?
I've never thought to ask either. But in addition, your love for Michael Jackson has spilled over to my oldest daughter, Kayla, who is probably the only person who, I'll still give you the edge because you've been in the Michael Jackson game longer, but outside of you, my daughter, Kayla, is the person that loves Michael Jackson the most. Every birthday, every Christmas, she wants Michael Jackson t-shirts. I'm like, how many t-shirts of Michael Jackson can you have?
You can
she knows all his songs. She knows all his history and background. She's got all kinds of like the merchandise, the pillows, the bobblehead, all that stuff. She loves Michael Jackson. And it's because you introduced her to Michael Jackson when you used to babysit for us.
If I had to pick a present day favorite artist as well, I would say Bruno Mars. And I think it's because he has Michael Jackson type qualities as well. He's a great live performer, great musician. He has a great voice even when he's doing live performances. So,
and you can even see Michael Jackson's influence in his music. Like it's all there.
So
it's
that's
all
why
there.
I think he's my second favorite.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot about you today.
Yes.
That
I thought I told you about Bruno Mars. Well, this is called Getting to Know Age Marie.
No, and I had no idea how your Michael Jackson love started. That is something. So we have Ma Seal to thank for that.
Yes, I still have the VHS tape at my mom's house and in my old bedroom.
And the fact that you was watching the VHS tape shows how old you are.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So my proudest accomplishment is when I won my Emmy Award in 2016. I was a part of the 2016 Rio Olympics. I worked for NBC Sports Group in Connecticut. I moved there for the summertime. I was there from July until like early September, late August-ish, I guess.
I don't know if I have a proudest accomplishment. One of the things I think I look back on and I'm proud of how it turned out, I was able to accomplish this was actually finishing college, because not simply the fact, oh, I graduated with a college degree. It was a very difficult, like I mentioned earlier in one of the questions, how I went to Hampton, didn't have money, I had to leave school, withdraw, took a job where I was working, literally, I was just going over this with your sister yesterday. I had a job where in order to save back enough money to get back into school, I was working like 92 hours a week. I literally worked, I think it was something like, I worked Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. until like midnight. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I worked from 10 to 6. And I did that for basically an entire year in order to save enough money up to come back to school. So when I literally got that diploma, and I remember all the work and, being tired, and I actually didn't even have, my family had left Connecticut at the time, so I was staying with a friend of the family on a cot in like one of their little side bedrooms. So it was just a real humbling experience trying to get back on my feet after, I wasn't able to finish school. So when I got back in school and was able to, pay for it, finish, and when I got that piece of paper, I was like, wow, this was a real struggle, real journey. So I was proud of that. And then, obviously people say the cliche stuff, oh, I'm proud of my kids, my greatest accomplishment, which obviously I love them and I'm proud of them. So, seeing how they're developing, and we take some credit, I give them a lot of credit too, because they're just genuine good kids, but seeing how they're developing their character, the way they conduct themselves, very proud of that as well, so.
So last but not least, a fun fact about myself is that I am actually a lefty. I write with my left hand, but I actually do everything else with my right hand. I can only write with my left hand, but if I'm throwing a ball, if I have to carry something with my strong arm, it's my right hand. If I'm hitting a bat, half the time it's, standing on my right side. Everything else I do with my right. Like even my cutting hand, like if I'm cutting with scissors, I use my right hand. Another fun fact about myself is, I guess you could say I'm double jointed in a way. Like I can bend my fingers back, so like my thumb goes all the way back. I can balance a ruler on it, and then all my other fingers go to the back.
I don't think this is necessarily a fun fact, but it's fun for me. I'm happy about it. In this generation of males in my family, like my generation, I'm the only one who has my full head of hair. Everybody else lost it. It's going gray, so we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do with that, depending on how fast it continues to go gray. But like everybody's either got a receding hairline, they've gone thin, or completely bald. I got all my hair. I got a jacked up hairline, but I've had that since I was a little kid. But I only want my hair, and I used to rock a baldy sometimes in the 90s or whatever, and I always knew that I could pull it off if I had to, but I just didn't want to lose my hair. And I thought I was gonna be prone to that. I'm the only one who hasn't lost my hair, and I'm thankful for it. So that's my fun fact for me.
And that's all. So thank you guys so much for tuning in right now. We hope you guys learned a lot about me and Kevin and getting to know Angel Marie and Kevin. There was a lot of stuff that I've learned about you in this process.
I learned a lot about you, and I thought I knew it all.
So if there's anything that you guys saw that you love, definitely like this video. Subscribe to our channel if you guys would like to see more. Please subscribe, you should. And definitely hop in our comment section if there's anything that we said that you guys like, that you agree with. If you're into the same thing and whatever we said, just let us know. We love to hear from you guys. So yeah.
Yes, I had fun doing this. Hopefully we can do some more stuff like this in the future, different types of content, but definitely want to say to everybody out there, please stay safe, healthy, and well during this time, and we hope to be back to our regularly scheduled programming soon.
Yes, so we will see you guys next time.
See you next time.
Wednesdays at 7, Angel Marie and Kevin playing the illest records, bringing us back together. Philly is all season, storming through any weather, leaving the track bleeding. Where we pull it.